Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to the channel of Sir Randy, Sir Ranran's math tutorial. I'd like to welcome you all this time. I know that some of you are looking for very good videos just to learn. This one is just a simple video that will help you learn also. The topic that I'm going to present today is a new topic. But before we discuss the topic, of course, let me say welcome and thank you muna to the recent natin na subscriber is April K. Alright, thank you so much for subscribing. And for those who did not subscribe yet, you may subscribe if you think the videos that we have can help you study or learn and understand the topics that seems like you are struggling. And that's the time you subscribe. It will help. This video will help. The videos that we have here will help you. Okay, what will be our concern today? What will be our topic today? That's the question. Our objective is this one. We can construct a frequency distribution table which is easier this time, a more comprehensive way. It's a video that will let you experience how to construct, how to do the task simply. Alright, the frequency distribution table is a useful way to organize data, summarize values and their frequencies. Common experiences of students that when they were told by their teacher to construct a frequency distribution, they have some problem on how to start with. Okay, how to start. So this will guide you actually, guys. Okay, this will guide you as beginners, as students. You still look for best way for doing it. Here's one way to do it. I hope you will like it. Okay. For example, we were given data, specifically scores in the math quiz of grade 10 students here because this topic is good for grade 10. Okay, we have here the data, and obviously it's more than 30. Yeah, it's more than 30 scores or observations in which might be that will be asked already to organize it. So the way we organize it is through the use of frequency distribution, because your frequency distribution table, if you can construct it, it will help you a lot already in solving, calculating the different measures under statistics, like the measures of central tendency, the measures of variability or dispersion, and the measures of position. Ayun. Now, for example, we will take this data, okay, given. Now, how to prepare the frequency distribution table. So we will follow these simple steps. I hope you can get the idea how to do it. Step 1. Identify the number of class intervals. This is the usual thing that is being asked, no? How to identify class intervals, and our teachers sometimes would just say, okay, I'll give you the desired number of class interval. So it's readily prepared by the teacher. Sometimes we are confused if we were told to construct a frequency distribution table and then we're the ones to decide the number of class intervals. So what will happen is that some classmates might not have the same number of class intervals. So here are our options actually. Option A, B, and C. For option C or A, MC or A, you may opt to pick numbers from 5 to 15 serves as your class intervals, since it's the ideal numbers of class intervals accordingly. But as I've said, the disadvantage is that you might have different desired number of class intervals and you'll end up with different class sizes. I'm talking about situation in a classroom where students were told to construct frequency distribution table, and they were given an instruction that they're the ones to choose their desired class intervals. Alright, the disadvantage will take into place. that they might have different number of class intervals, okay? But anyway, you can just pick from 5 to 15, or sometimes it go beyond 15, like a maximum 20. 20, the highest probably number of class intervals that you want, okay? And our option B is that you may use the Sturges formula. Okay, the Sturges formula, which is very useful to research the people that are working in research, right? Whether beginners or even experts already, which k is equal to 1 plus 3.322 logarithm of n. Okay, where n here refers to the number of scores or observations in the data that is given. Okay, let me see option. You may choose to use the k rule, which is 2 to the power of k greater than n, and n again refers to the number of observations or scores in that data set. Okay, that's step number 1. So there you have 3 options. The common one is A. You are just to pick your desired number of class. Okay, letter B, you use the formula, the Sturges formula, and letter C, you use the k rule, which is very simple. I will guide you how to do it later. No, okay. Step 2, get the range. Okay, get the range. You know that the range is highest score minus the lowest score. Okay, what score is the highest in the given and what score in the lowest, get the difference, then that automatically give you your range. The number 2 or step 3. Okay, step 3 this time, identify your class size or class width. That's your I, right? Or the interval. Okay, take note, class interval are not that exactly the same. Okay, identify your class size or class width. I. So how to identify? To identify your class size, divide the range by the desired number of class intervals. Okay, your choice of number, or just the result of your Sturges if you use the Sturges, or if you use the k rule, you can choose that also. You can use that also. So if you choose to use it, then you use that. You will notice that they will just have similar. Okay, similar, but this time if the instruction of the teacher will is saying like, okay, you use the Sturges to have your desired number of class intervals, so they will have uniform answers. And for example, the teacher will say, okay, use the k rule so that you can have the class interval. Ayan, and they will have the same answers. Okay, step 4, prepare your table and fill out all required data in each of the column. Ayan, so we have steps 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, what are we going to do? We will try to do the steps using the raw data provided above. Okay, provided above. Here, let's take it one by one. Step 1, identify the number of class intervals. Okay, your option 1 is we just have to pick our desired number from 1 to 15. Example, I'll pick 7. Or you may pick yours, like you choose 6, you choose 8, right? So that's your desired number of classes or class intervals. Say, for example, you opt to use number 2. So option number 2 is the use of Sturges, which is k is equal to 1 plus 3.322 logarithm of n, where n is the total number of scores or observations in the data. Okay, in the given above, that's total of 35 scores. Okay, 35 scores, therefore that will be our n. We will try to use Sturges to look for our desired number of, the class intervals. Okay, so k is equal to 1 plus 3.322 logarithm of 35 would become 1 plus 3.322 times 1.54406844 after you key in logarithm 35. Logarithm of 35 in your calculator, you can have this value. After getting this value, of course, you have to multiply this to 3.322, and and dot, you will have a product 5.129394043. So since there is still 1 here that is to be added, that will be 1 plus 5, so on, and you will have an answer here. K is equal to 6.129394043, and then you round off. K, you round off. What is that? That means K is 6, at least here. The answer is 6. It gives you idea that you will use class intervals 6, okay, or 6 class intervals. Okay, that's for option 2. Okay, in option 1 you may choose 6, 7, 8. In option 2 it's only one number, 6. Use the slashes. Now, what about the key rule? No, if you use this rule, guys, it says there that 2 raised to k is greater than n, where n is 35. Why 35? That's the total number of scores we have in the data above. Okay, we have in the data above is 35 scores. So all you have to do is just substitute numbers from 1 up to where you want it to end. Okay, the goal is you will reach at that point wherein when you raise 2 to that power, it would be greater already to your n. Okay, greater to your n already. Example, if you substitute 1 to k, that's 2 raised to 1. 2 raised to 1 is greater than 35? Of course not. Okay, and next, 2 raised to 2, is 2 raised to 2 greater than 35? Of course not, because 2 raised to 2 is 4. Okay, next, 2 raised to 3. Okay, what is 2 raised to 3? 8. Is that greater than 35? No. Okay, next you replace it with 4. So 2 raised to 4. What is 2 raised to 4? Obviously that's 16. 16 is not greater than 35, right? So you're not going to choose that. Now next to 4 is 5. 2 raised to 5, oh, you will have 32. But 32 is not greater than 35. Okay, so you are not going to choose 5. Now here comes 2 to the 6. And you know that 2 to the 6 is 64. And 64 is already greater than 35. See that? Yes, 2 to the 6 is equal to 64, and that 64 is greater than 35. So you will use now 6 as your K. So K here is equal to 6. Remember, step 1 is for us to determine or identify our class interval, which is our very first step. So it's up to you. You choose 1, you choose 2, you choose 3. Which is which you like to use in constructing your frequency distribution table. Okay, now what about the step 2? After you already have your class interval, of course you have not to compute, you are to get your range, right? Okay, step 2, get the range. That's according to our steps, right? So you will have your highest score minus lowest score. So in our data above, the highest score is 47, so the lowest score is 16. So 47 minus 16 is actually 31. So you got the range this time. The range is 31. Now you proceed to step 3. After getting your class interval, the range, now you are ready to identify your class size or class width, correct? Class width or class size. What is that? That's I. I is equal to R divided by K. So you divide your range by your class intervals, number of class intervals. So your class intervals there is 6, right? 6. Consistent to Sturgeon's and key rule, right? So 6. So therefore, you're gonna divide 31 by 6, which is your range divided by class intervals. Then you will have your I. Your I is 5.1666667. Ayun. And then, it would be a 6 because you have to round up. Round up is not the same with round off. When you say round off, you go down or you go up, right? But round up is you really have to round this up. Okay, what's the number? If it's decimal already, you have to round up to the next number. And that's it. You have 6 as your interval or class size, otherwise known as your class width. Okay, Now let's proceed to step 4. Prepare your table and fill out all required data in each column. So napakadali lang. Okay, let's try doing it. Now, since your case is 6, you need only 8 rows including the headings and summation in the bottom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 rows. Why 8? 6 for our number of class intervals, 1 for the titles, and 1 for the summation areas, no? Here for your summations. So 8. Now, you have your scores in math quiz as given above. That's known also your class intervals. Now, how to start writing your class intervals. Okay, how to start. Now, your K is 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that should be 6, right? But yeah, you see, we use 6 here. 6 class intervals. Okay, that's one proof that it's really true. And that, yeah, your class size or I is 6 also. Right? 6 also. As you can see, it's a 6. Your I is 6. So therefore, you can now write your lower limits. You start writing in your lower limits. How? What is your smallest score? Okay, or the lowest score in the data. In the data, actually, as you remember, it's 16. That is the lowest score. Okay, 16. So you start there. You can have your lower limits. 16, do not write muna the upper limits. Okay, you can have 16. 16 plus 6, which is the I, is 22. So you write here. Plus 6 again is 28. Plus 6 is 34. Plus 6 is 40. Plus 6 is 46. That's it. Okay, these are our lower limits now. Now, you're ready to write your upper limits. Simple. Your upper limits is the number before the next number here, right? Okay. What is number before 22? You can have 21. What is the number before 20? You can have 27. What is the number before 34? You can have 33. The number before 40 is 39. And the number before 46 is 45. And so, you will have then the next. There's, you know that if there is next here, it should be a 52. Okay, 52 plus 6. So before that number is 51. If you are going to check that, you can check that by adding 5. Instead of 6, add 5. What is 16 plus 5? 21. Okay. What is 22 plus 5? 27. Okay. The interval is actually manifested here as you do your limits. Here, you say that you can have the interval class size. Yeah, the class size is also 6 because you start counting from 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, still 6. You call it a class size. Okay, and that your interval is seen in this lower limits. Class size or class width is by counting from the lower limit to your upper limit, then by 6, of course. Then you have now your classes or number or your class intervals. You're able to construct already. Yeah, it ends with 51. That's right. It's okay because the highest number anyway is less than 50. Now you're ready to get your lower boundary. How to get your lower boundary again? It is simply by subtracting 0.5 h of the lower limit. Okay, 0.5, subtract 0.5 in the lower limits. You can have your lower boundaries. So what is 16 minus 0.5? You have 15.5. 22 minus 0.5. There you have 21.5. 28 minus 0.5. You have 27.5, and so on. You can have that. You simply subtract 0.5. What about the upper boundary? Okay, what about the upper boundary? You simply add. Okay, add 0.5. So for example, 21 plus 0.5 is 21.5. 27 plus 0.5 is 27.5, and so on. You just add 0.5, so you have 33.5. This must be a 5. Okay, that must be a 5. 39.5, 45.5, and 51.5. Okay, so this must be a 5, not a 7. Now, next is the tally. Of course, you are going to look at your data here, and the tedious work is the tally. You're going to check all the numbers here where it belongs, what interval it belongs. No, it belongs to what interval. You're going to tally in that way. You call that tally. You use sticks. And after tallying, you can now write your frequency. Okay, your frequency. So just translate it into numbers, and then you get the summation of your frequency, which is 35. If the sum is correct, that means your tally is also correct. Okay, if the sum of frequency is correct, 35, this gives you the total number of observations, 35, then that means we are correct. Okay, and so from that frequency you can now write your cumulative frequency. How to write your cumulative frequency? Of course, this is just actually simply adding the number preceding it, right? But then you copy first the first frequency. This frequency that we are trying to write here is the cumulative frequency less than. Okay, less than. Okay, why less than? We started from the class which is the smallest, no, the class that has the lowest values. Okay, now you start writing 4, then add the next frequency. You have 14, add the next, you have 22, add the next, you have 27, add the next, you have 33, and add the next, you have 35. You will notice that the last cumulative frequency is equal to your sum of frequency. And one thing good for cumulative frequency, having this one, it will guide you where the nth term or nth score is located as you compute your measures of position and measures of syndrome tendencies. It will help you also. Okay, and that's it. Remember to take note na the headings ask only needed data for needed data for solving measures of position. That's why you have only lower boundary, upper boundary, tally, frequency, and cumulative frequency. If you will be solving measures of zero tendency, of course you have to add class marks and the product of class mark and frequency and so on. Same with the measures of variation. So there are still other data that is needed in the table, but this time this table is complete already for one to calculate the different measures of positions. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to share, click if you like it, if you think you learned from it, you share if you wanted, and please subscribe to follow the videos that I'm going to post that will maybe part of your lessons as review material, and hit the bell so you'll be notified whenever there are new videos. I think that's all. Thank you so much, and this is your teacher again, Sir Ren Ren. Bye bye.